What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Sean P, the Bluff Guy. Ay! And we are back with another reaction stream. Yes, another reaction stream. And today we will be reacting to a good friend of mine here in the YouTube space, Threevil. Shout out to Threevil. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not sure if a lot of y'all know what's going on with Threevil at the moment. I know there's some, I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't know fully what's going on, and I don't want to I don't want to be putting nothing out that may not be true, but um, yeah, it's a little content copying and stuff like that. So yeah, man. Definitely go support your boy Threevil though. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever that is, it's not cool, right? Like y'all know me. I react to a lot of other content from other people. But I never, me personally, I don't package the content that I'm going over as my own content. Y'all obviously know it's somebody else's content, right? I'm actually just reacting to these videos from these content creators, and I give them all the credit. I put their the links to their videos so you guys could go to their videos and support their videos and not just watching it through me, right? And then, I also try not to react to a lot, like every time they drop a video, I try not to react to every video a YouTuber drop. I try to change up who I react to and everything, so I'm not like continuously reacting to one content creator, right? So yeah, theory stealing and all that stuff. It's not cool, right? Like y'all know a lot of theories that I kind of run with. A lot of them I haven't made. None of I don't claim them. And I'm not talking about the theories that I react to. I'm just talking about a lot of theories that I might actually believe and push myself on this channel. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a theory that I heard from somewhere else, I usually would try to give that person credit if I remember who it is. If I don't remember the person, I usually say, yeah, it wasn't originally mine. I heard it somewhere else. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of the time, I try not to. I try to give credit, right? I try to give credit when it's a theory that I know I heard from somewhere else. Even if I know, even if I feel like I could get away with taking that theory and run with it without no consequences, I still try to stay away from taking theories without giving credit. At the same time, I do kind of give y'all theories that I think of myself, or maybe what are they called? A variant, like a variant from someone else's theory. Like I'll build off of it in my own way, right? Like I might hear of a theory and I might build off it, you know what I'm saying, in my own way, right? So we got Angel's Room in the chat. He said yo, and we both got Cube, and he said yo, shout out to Angel's Room and Cube. Yeah, so yeah, but I don't know all the details of what's going on over at Threevil's channel, but you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Threevil. I hope he gets his justice. Uh yeah. Yeah, but anyway, today's video we're pretty much going to, y'all know how I do on Mondays, right? The day after the official drops, I like to go in the YouTube space and react to, like, find a video of someone who also reviewed or reacted to the chapter, the recent chapter, especially after the official drops. And I like to react to their review or reaction, just to get an idea of what the community is also thinking about this chapter. Because y'all know, until the official chapter drops, I'll try to stay away from everything. Y'all know that. Like, I try to stay away from all the chatter about the current chapter out. But after I do it, then I like, I want to get a varied opinion from mine, because sometimes these different videos I see, they point out other stuff that I might have missed, right? Or sometimes they talk about something I might be talking about, right? And they might come at it from a different perspective. They might agree, so at least I know that I'm not the only one thinking this way. So it's good to get these different opinions, even if it's someone disagreeing with me, or it's someone agreeing with me, or somebody coming from a different perspective on the same thing, right? Cube says, if you forgot who you heard the theory from, then it's automatically my theory. Just a regular of thumbs. Nah, it's never your theory, Cube. No, I'm messing with you. I'm not talking about. The point of what I was talking about, like theories and stuff, is what's going on with Threevil. I'm not too sure if you know what's happening over his channel and on Twitter. I've seen a little bit of it on Twitter, but I guess there's this. I'm gonna kind of talk on it. But again, I'm not the most reliable source, so don't sit here and take what I say as law. I'm only going off of pieces that I've seen. If y'all not aware, I guess Threevil had a theory. I don't really remember which theory it was. Yeah, I'm not too sure what theory it was, but supposedly, the YouTube channel, right? I don't know if I should even be saying any names, because again, I'm not trying to, put anything out. But again, this is on Twitter, so y'all could see this yourself probably. At least who the parties involved, right? So the YouTube channel Anime Balls Deep got a hold of one of his theories and they pretty much stole his theory, right? They, supposedly, I guess they didn't even really change much of it or add anything new. And they claim that they seen somebody on Reddit that inspired them. I don't know. Y'all might have to go check out Threevil's Twitter if y'all really want to know more and have a more accurate account. Yeah, so I'm just giving y'all a short summary of the little that I know about this whole beef. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know me. I'm normally kind of busy, with my stuff, and I'm busy with things. So yeah. Angel said, "LOLQ, didn't know Threevil was having problems." Yeah, I think this happened like on the weekend, like I want to say Saturday or Friday or something. I don't really know, but yeah. I don't want to talk too much on it though, because I'm outsider looking in, so I'm only kind of giving that perspective. Cube says he got people stealing his content to make the exact content on their channels. So you knew about it, Cube? And Angel said, "Oh, people stealing his theories." Look, I'm just telling y'all the little information that I seen on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it as me speaking it as gospel or anything. I'm not saying, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. You know what I mean? I haven't watched the video, I think it's Anime Balls Deep. I haven't watched the video, right? So I don't know. Cube said Threevil explained it on his Discord. Don't know the details though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. I haven't really got a chance to check it out. And I only seen a few when I was just kind of scanning through Twitter, and I kind of I seen it. I seen him talking about something of that sort. So yeah, man. If it's true, man, that's if they definitely did steal that's pretty messed up. That's not something I support. That's not something I condone. You know what I'm saying? But again, like I just don't want to speak on it like too much. I don't want to go in depth on it because I don't know the exact details of it. You know what I'm saying? I know like a few things. I know who's involved in what's being accused of. That's pretty much all I know, right? I don't know the video. I don't know the theory. I don't know uh, what was said on the video. If you compare the video side by side, you know what I mean. But anyway, y'all. Yeah. So today we are reacting to Threevil, and the title of this video is "It Ends Like This." One Piece chapter 1049 review, and kind of based off of the title, it kind of make me feel as though Threevil might be feeling some type of way about it as well. Kind of like I was feeling some type of way. You know what I mean? Y'all, if y'all watch if y'all watched the chapter discussion I did yesterday, then y'all would know how I feel about it, right? Y'all know how I feel about it. Me personally, I got mixed feelings about the chapter. I'm gonna have to read it again. I haven't had a chance to read it again yet, but maybe if I read it again, I might feel differently. But I'm not too crazy about Kaido being defeated, and we haven't seen like an awakening. We haven't seen any special haki that Kaido might have, because to me, when he said haki transcends all, it just made me think like, oh, that means Kaido is about to show us some haki stuff. But maybe Oda has nothing planned for him. But if not, if Oda had Kaido say all that and Kaido doesn't have any special type of haki feats coming up, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. That's all I'm saying. It's not my story. I don't like sitting here telling Oda how to write his story, and I don't like people doing that as well. Like, we create these fan canon theories and how something should go in our head, and then when it doesn't happen, we get angry at Oda. And I don't want to do that, but at the same time, I feel as though Oda shouldn't have had Kaido bring up haki in that aspect if Kaido's not going to pull out any special haki feats, right? And I just want to see some type of awakening. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel as though Kaido should have an awakening of some sort. Him being a Yonko, right? Him being a Yonko, I would think he would know how to awaken his ability. And as far as the defeat, or my other problem was the flashback, right? Like, we only got like a few pages of flashback. And again, I don't want to tell Oda how to do his art, but it's like Odin, right? Odin, a character that we just kind of was introduced into this arc. Well, we was introduced to him like back in, I think, Punk Hazard, or no, Dressrosa. I think that's when he was first mentioned. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong about that. It was Dressrosa when we were pretty much told about Odin. Or no, I think it was Zoe. And but yeah, we got like a good few, like, I want to say about between 5 and 10 chapters of Odin. And we don't even get a full chapter of Kaido, a character that we've been building up since pre-time skip, since early Grand Line, right? Like, come on, we don't get no decent in-depth flashback of Kaido. Like, there's so much we could get from Kaido's flashback, bro. And that, like, I get a lot of, like, you know, I get Oda maybe not wanting to give, like, spoil anything from, let's say, Zebek, right? Because we know we got Zebek, and Kaido's flashback might ruin a lot of stuff that Oda might be holding on to about Zebek. And I get that. I can understand that. But at the same time, I feel as though we can get some flashback of outside of Zebek, right? We could get some like pre-Zebek, like how Kaido, like, we seen a little bit. Like, we know he is from the Vaca Kingdom. That's where he's from. But we only got like a little bit of that, and then he ended up going with Zebek. Maybe flesh out some more of that, right? Maybe let's get him building his crew, and see some rivalry of Moria, right? Yamato, like when he met Yamato's mom and had Yamato, and maybe you know how he treated Yamato before she became a little rebellious and tried to become Odin, right? So I kind of want to see some more of that, right? Maybe some more of his rise to Yonko, right? Like how he rose to being a Yonko, getting his crew, and some of the things he's did. And it doesn't have to be like, I'm not sitting here saying we have to have like 10, 15 chapters of flashback. Couple chapters, between, like, I would say minimum maybe 3 chapters. At least I'll be satisfied. I mean, I guess 2 chapters could work as well, 1 or 2 chapters, but I would personally like maybe 3 to 6 chapters, maybe 3. I'll be satisfied with 3. I'll be satisfied with 3. And since we kind of got some of his flashback in the last chapter, it could be like 2.5 or like 2.5 or something. I don't know, maybe 2, I guess. But that flashback just didn't leave me satisfied. I wasn't satiated off of that couple pages of Kaido flashback from the chapter. I wasn't satisfied with that. So, if we don't get no more flashback of Kaido, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. And if Kaido is truly defeated, and we didn't get like an awakening or some form of haki that only Kaido has done, because for Kaido to say haki transcends all, that would make me believe that Kaido has some haki, like some dope haki ability we haven't seen. But maybe I'm just wanting too much. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being ungrateful fan. I don't know. But that's kind of how I feel. Stan says, I watch Uteron's and shout out to Stan. Welcome to the chat. Shout out to Stan. I watched Uteron today, and his video, he predicts with the Japanese puns on the numbers of the chapters that in the next 2 chapters the fight with Kaido will basically end 1052. Okay. I mean, yeah. We have to see, because, I don't know. I guess if there's spoilers out there, I guess maybe Uteron knows some stuff that I don't know. But I can only go with what we get and what Oda does. I can only go by what we see, right? I can only go by that. So, and I don't want to sit here and say I hated the chapter either. It's just, how I feel about this last chapter just depends on the upcoming chapters, right? What we get from the next few chapters. If Kaido does get back up, kind of like Stan says Uteron predicted, if we do get more flashback, I'll be good. I get the gripe with people that they want this fight to kind of wrap up. I just feel as though it could have wrapped up with us getting a little more, at least in the aspect of Kaido's devil fruit, possible awakening in haki. The defeat itself, like, I know a lot of people don't like the fact that Luffy defeated Kaido, quote unquote defeated Kaido with a punch. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like that. Me personally, that didn't bother me as much as, more so what bothered me is the lack of what we got in some areas of this fight ending. That's kind of what's bothering me. Stan says he has been pretty accurate in the last few chapters. Okay, I'm hoping Uteron is right. I'm hoping a lot of people that believes that Kaido is going to get back up, I hope they're right, because I kind of hope that Kaido gets back up, right? I kind of hope that Kaido gets back up and Luffy is out of the fight, but somebody has to come along and pretty much stop Kaido, right? You know, because it still showcases how tough Kaido really is. And I've predicted before that it's possible that Luffy doesn't even really truly defeat Kaido. I've made that speculation before Wano, like pre Wano. I made the speculation that I think it could come to a point where Luffy doesn't actually defeat Kaido. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe somebody else does, or I don't know. You know, Big Mom is still kind of in play as well. You know, a lot of people think that she could get back up. So what happens if Big Mom and Kaido gets back up? What happens if Big Mom gets up and she's kind of pissed at Kaido, like, yo, I'm tired of Kaido half-assing the job. I can't work with him. And then what if she betrays Kaido or something along the line, something happens to where she feels though she can't work with Kaido no more. And so she betrays him. You know, something like that could happen. You know, and then Kaido could get defeated along that line. You know what I'm saying? Adam says, been waiting to see this video. Didn't think I was going to make it in time. Well, I mean, bro, it's still early in the stream, man. It's still early in the stream. We haven't even started the video. We're about to start the video, though. Let me just finish. Let me catch up on these chats, and we'll start this video. Stan says, Uteron said that based on the puns of chapter 1049, the Toki prophecy has been completed, but Kaido is still in Wano, and Luffy said in chapter 1041 that he will kick Kaido out of Wano. So the fight is not over until Kaido is not out of Wano, or is out of Wano. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, but I believe there's ways. I mean, I believe it's possible to where Kaido could somehow still leave Wano without it technically being a defeat from Luffy. Because how we seen last chapter, it kind of looked like Luffy's out of the fight. It looked like he believes he won, and he's just kind of falling to his supposed victory, right? Adam said, it didn't mean like the chat wasn't cool. LOL, I just meant I didn't think I'd make it home in time for the stream at all. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you're early. You're early. So, I mean, Stan says, and based on the puns of chapter 1050, we could see Momonosuke face in human form. You know something? Now I think about it, Kaido could be weak enough to where Yamato has to fight Kaido and could potentially beat him. Like, just because Kaido gets back up, he could still be pretty worn out, right? He could still have had enough damage to where he's easy pickings for somebody else that may not necessarily be super strong. So Kaido could get back up and Yamato might have to defeat him, you know, and then it's kind of like Oden beats Kaido through Yamato. Like, it's really kind of Oden getting his revenge through Yamato, since Yamato claims herself to be Oden, right? And maybe Momonosuke. Well, Momonosuke looks out too, so I don't think Momonosuke is going to be much help. Anyway, let's get into this video. Stan says, yeah, that's what Odoron said in the video, but in his case, based on the puns, it will be Momo who fights him. I mean, I don't know if it'd be Momo, because Momo looks like he's spent right now. Like Momonosuke look like he's out of the fight. You know, I mean, I could believe it could be Momonosuke and Yamato, but Momonosuke, like I said, he just had to carry an island, so I don't know if he has the energy to get back up and fight Kaido. Let's get into this video though.
Piece chapter 1049 just dropped, and today we are going to be doing a full-fledged review. I'm not going to necessarily sit here and read out panels and pages to you, and instead we're going to go do some theories about it. We're going to see what this chapter implies, what this chapter gives us, and we're going to do some thinking and some good analyzing. So let's start with the cover page of this chapter. So we see more Germa stuff going on. We still don't have a clear direction, a clear understanding, or an answer as to who showed up at Whole Cake Island. We're led to believe that it's Raiju and Ichiji that are appearing at Whole Cake Island trying to save their siblings. Given that in 1048 we saw Brûlé, she had like some kind of like exclamation mark, some kind of dialogue bubble saying like, yeah, maybe it's Ichiji and Raiju appearing. A lot of people like myself were hoping maybe it's be something more exciting like the Blackbeard Pirates, and I even saw some like really tinfoil but plausible options like Smoker and Tashigi, given that they chase the Straw Hats and they might be trying to find Vegapunk blueprints that Big Mom took advantage of. But regardless, I think we're still kind of heading to the direction of a more not exciting cover story, and that we're having Ichiji and Raiju come to save the siblings. And you know, we're maybe Oda's kind of like throwing a curveball, and you know, with this fire thing, it really seems like that's the direction we're going. There's not too much I can really add to this cover story. I'm hoping at some point we could see Katakuri maybe, or we get like a clear answer. Maybe for some reason it is a Blackbeard pirate. Kind of like a stark contrast. I mean, next in this chapter.
Not mean to. What am I doing? I accidentally.
Hey guys, so One Piece chapter 1049.
Wow, I keep jumping forward.
Hey guys, so One Piece chapter 10. Throwing a curveball, and you know, with this fire thing, it really seems like that's the direction we're going. There's not.
I just wanted to pause it. I accidentally like clicked to the next video. I think it's the Vinsmokes. I think that's the most logical thing, you know what I'm saying? Or I think that's where Oda's going with it. I think a curveball such as Blackbeard would be entertaining. I think that could spice up the art, right? Or this cover story. But I also would rather see Blackbeard in Wano. But if he's not going to be in Wano, then Whole Cake could be fine as well, right? But I was hoping that this cover story was going in the direction of the Vinsmokes going to get help from the Straw Hats. I think that would have been a very exciting story right there, like a very exciting route to go, because it could have been the Vinsmokes having to go find Sanji, and as Sanji and his crew, the Straw Hats, to like, which it will culminate at the end of Wano, I would think, or it could culminate like where, let's say, what we got going now, right? Where we got Luffy looks like he's out of the fight, and Kaido seems like he could get back up. Maybe the Vinsmokes come and help, right? Maybe they come and help Sanji get out of his situation, and the Straw Hats get it. Maybe they help with their situation, so then, you know, the Straw Hats could help them go retrieve their siblings. You know what I'm saying? So I was hoping to go that route, because then it would lead to the plot of Sanji being able to forgive his family. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the Vinsmokes kind of learning like, you know what? We was wrong how we treated Sanji. We're sorry. You know, we could understand if you don't ever want to really associate with us, but we are sorry, and we will hope that you can forgive us. And then Sanji helps save his siblings. Like maybe the Straw Hats convince Sanji, and then the Straw Hats go with the Vinsmokes to go back to Whole Cake Island, I guess. And it could be a very short arc. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know if we really would have time for something like this. So I guess going this route wouldn't make sense, because I don't think there'll be enough time in the story to go pretty much take a detour back to Whole Cake Island and get the Vinsmokes. But I was kind of hoping something along that line, right? And then just for more so Sanji's story and his story with his family. That's why I like that idea. But I don't know if there's any time to really go that route. Cube said, LOL, we were wrong. I just can't unsee Judge saying it like when Kaido apologized to Luffy. I mean, like I said, he could, you know, he would have to apologize to get the help of the Straw Hats because he didn't want Sanji's help, so he would have to give some sort of apology. You know, it might be a half-ass apology, but he would need an apology if he's going to get Sanji's help. You know what I'm saying? That's the part of development. Sometimes you gotta get somebody. You gotta get somebody to do something that you can't really imagine them do it because they need you. So they have to swallow that pride and apologize in order to get what they want. That's part of the development. That's part of the character development that we've seen a bit of in Whole Cake Island. Let's continue.
Not too much I can really add to this cover story. I'm hoping at some point we could see Katakuri maybe, or we get like a clear answer. Maybe for some reason it is a Blackbeard Pirates, but I would not be surprised if this is like a typical cover story where it's not a huge curveball, it's not a huge like theory or mystery or whatever, and we go into that kind of simple plot line. Next in this chapter, we do begin a Kaido flashback, and it seems like he spent some time at Kingdom of Vodka, aka Roshuan Kingdom. Now, you guys probably don't remember this, and I don't blame you, but during the Reverie, you know, this new upcoming Reverie in One Piece, we do see that there's a guy named King Beer the Sixth, and he lived and, you know, he controls this Kingdom of Beer. And now I'm led to believe that, yeah, technically Kingdom of Vodka and, you know, this Kingdom of Beer, they're not necessarily the same name, but I'm led to believe that it's pretty much the same thing. Now I read this going off the TCB, they might change the name, it might not be Kingdom of Vodka, it might be Kingdom of Beer, but we see the flag during the Reverie, and it looks like that flag.
Okay, so Threevil kind of he's somewhat not fully officially confirmed because it's he kind of gave me an answer to a question I thought about with Kaido, and we learned about this Kingdom of Vodka and how it was portrayed in the flashback was they pretty much this kingdom they raid other kingdoms or countries or whatever in order to make money to have a tribute for pretty much the world government in order to attend Reverie and be a part of the world government, right? You know, the same stuff that we know how the world government work, right? Like kingdoms have to give tributes to the world government in order to be a part of it and to be a part of Reverie. So we know that the Vodka Kingdom was pretty much trying to do that by like raiding other villages and I think they told Kaido, like, look, we need that stuff for the tribute. But Kaido was kind of like, look, I don't want to be a part of that. You know, like, I don't care about all that. Why should we be worrying about being part of the world government? And then they end up pretty much trading Kaido in as a tribute. They pretty much use Kaido as a tribute to get in the good graces with the world government. And so, yeah, and one question I had was, since they actively was trying to be part of the world government, maybe we've seen one of their representative, their kingdom's representative at Reverie. And, you know, Threevil pointed out that there was a representative for the Kingdom of Beer, but which is different from Vodka, but maybe they could be the same thing. So that's just something we gotta wait to get a confirmation, if we ever get that confirmation on if the name, you know, doesn't really if the names are officially different, then they're probably going to be different though. Stan says we've never seen anyone in the Reverie from that kingdom. Yeah, I kind of said that, but that's kind of the point. That's what Threevil said. It was a different kingdom, but they could potentially be the same. Let's continue.
kind of matches, you know, the small little panels in 1049. I believe that this is why Kaido is an alcoholic, and that he grew up and, you know, he spent a lot of time in a country, in a kingdom influenced by alcohol. It's also interesting because, you know, they're gonna say that Roshuan Kingdom was kind of known for its beer, and, you know, but they're, at the same time, it's second to vodka in the One Piece world. And then that kind of says like, okay, well, what if Kaido isn't from them? Or like, what if he isn't from, you know, the same island or same kingdom as King Beer? Kind of confuses me, because I want to say like Kingdom of Vodka and then like Roshuan Kingdom's the same, but maybe it's not. I don't really know, but you know, I guess that's something we can explore. I'm not really expecting something mind-blowing. Like, for an example, right, we saw the silhouette, we saw some kind of shadow of the king. It didn't show us his face, so I feel like as an average reader, you'd be led to believe that, okay, well, maybe this guy looks, maybe he looks important, maybe this is someone we know. Well, it can't be someone like Garp, because Garp's a marine. It can't be someone like Zabak, because Zabak was a pirate that Kaido later on recruited. So maybe it's literally just like an irrelevant king, or maybe, like I said, maybe it's the king of Roshuan Kingdom, maybe it's King Beer the Sixth. I don't really know. But one more thing I'll add to this is it's kind of cool because, you know, throughout the story, Shanks is like, I like going to East Blue, I like hanging out in Fuchsia Village because that's where the best sake is, like that's the best alcohol, you know, that's the top one. Yet where Kaido is presumably from is like top two. It's like he can't live up and reach his kingdom, his lineage where he's from can't live up to the alcohol level that Shanks prefers. And you know, maybe that kind of ties in like metaphorically to a small extent where like, you know, Kaido isn't on that level of Shanks. You know, they're high up there, but Kaido ain't Shanks. Now the next thing I want to talk about is actually Kaido getting
Come on, Threevil. Let's not do that, Threevil. Let's not sit here and use alcohol to try to validate Shanks being stronger than Kaido now. Come on now. I don't even get what he was arguing just now, yo. I'm kind of lost with the point. Like, cause I know Shanks like the alcohol in East Blue, but maybe he just, that's what the taste that he preferred. It might not necessarily be like the alcohol content of it. You know what I'm saying? And I would probably say Kaido probably is more of a connoisseur of alcohol than Shanks. The fact that Kaido always drinking, so yeah, maybe Shanks never had the Kingdom of Vodka beer, or maybe something happened to that kingdom, right? Maybe that kingdom don't exist or it changed or something, you know? Because based off of how they talked about the kingdom, how it like it seems like a kingdom that has to raid. They're kind of like Vikings, where they have to go out and take resources. Like they can't. It doesn't seem like a kingdom that is really good at, you know, exporting stuff or make it like creating resources, right? Or mining resources. Like it doesn't seem like a kingdom that's good at with resources, you know, like so it seems like they had to go out and pretty much take resources from other places. And if that's the case, that type of life, right? Like that type of economy, the economy where you have to pretty much you're dependent on having to take resources from other communities and societies. That isn't really a sustainable like way to keep your countries thriving, right? It's not really sustainable, you know, because what happens when it's harder to take from kingdoms where their defense, where they're able to protect their kingdoms a lot more, and it's a lot harder, and it means, and y'all don't have enough resources to maintain long battles, so you might end up running out of resources before you can even conquer the kingdom. So it doesn't seem sustainable. So if that's the case, maybe this kingdom kind of eventually fell, and that's why we don't really hear much about him anymore, you know. Angel Room says Shanks ain't Kaido, right? But yeah, so if that kingdom fell and it's not sustainable because it didn't have any like anything to really export, maybe except alcohol. But I mean, again, like maybe you need resources to make alcohol. You know, you need stuff like grain and or I think like barley or something. Like you need like certain types of grains, and you know what I mean. So maybe they just couldn't maintain the resources to continue to produce a high level of alcohol. So maybe they fell and they don't really have alcohol no more. So maybe that's why Shanks don't really rock with their alcohol, because maybe they don't have alcohol. They fell. They don't exist no more. You know. But let's continue.
Captured multiple times. Now, a lot of people use this throughout, the past few years, downplaying Kaido, saying, you know what, how is Kaido top 1? How is he strongest creature land, sea, and air? How is it 1v1 bet on Kaido, but he's been captured multiple times? And I swear, I've been one of those people, one of the small minority that tried to say, hey, we don't know the context of it. Right. Especially like him breaking out. I feel like, fine, it's a fair assumption to say he broke out of Impel Down in the prisons because he's so strong. But we don't know the full context. We don't know the full extent. This chapter, luckily, it's pretty much heavily answering, it's heavily implying at the least that Kaido would break out of these prison ships, not necessarily breaking out of Impel Down itself because he was hungry, and that he would get captured because he was hungry. So when we're looking at like, okay, Kaido's been captured X amount of times, it's not like he's losing in 1v1s. It's not like he's getting clapped. It's because he's hungry apparently. And I do think that's kind of like, that's such an Oda thing. You have like this really sick.
I am glad Threevil pointed that out. The same thing I pretty much said yesterday. Hey, people was always that was like people, like I'm telling you, here's people's main go-tos at trying to discredit Kaido. That the two things that I hate, right? The two things I hate people try to discredit Kaido. Or the three. There's really three. The third one that I was going to mention, I'm gonna say it first, was the fact that Shanks stopped him from going Marineford. We don't know the full context of what happened. You know what I'm saying? A lot of I feel as though reasonable people would sit here and tell you that they probably taught. We, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't see no injuries on Kaido when he pretty much said, oh, well, now that I'm not going to Marineford because Shanks pretty much came or whatever, and Shanks left. Since I'm not going to Marineford no more, I got a free schedule. So I'm gonna go handle this Yamato situation. This was during that flashback, that Yamato and Kaido flashback. So neither of them looked like they were hurt. So neither of them looked like they fought. Kaido didn't look like he was hurt during that scene, and Shanks didn't look like he was hurt when he showed up to Marineford. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they would have had some type of lasting injury. The second thing that people talk about is Kaido's been caught by the Marines X amount of times. Well, that just was disproven. It wasn't like he got caught because they beat him. He got caught because he pretty much allowed him to catch him because he was hungry. And then the third knock against Kaido is he been defeated, 7 times? 7 times, and I'm like, bro, that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. That's actually very low to get defeated. When we look at Luffy, who is being groomed to be the strongest character in the series by the end, bro, he's lost how many times? He lost 3 times against Crocodile. He lost 3 times against Kaido. 6 times just off of 2 characters I named. See, so he pretty much, just off of 2 characters, he pretty much lost the same amount of times as Kaido. Now let's look at some of the other losses against Luffy. He lost against Aokiji when Aokiji met him on that island. He lost against Magellan, right? When Magellan poisoned him. That's 8 times right there. I want to say he lost against Caesar. He lost against Lucci. I want to say their first meet. He lost against Lucci. Luffy already got Kaido beat in the number of L's that he took him. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? We don't know how many fights Shanks has been in or lost, but he could probably have a lot on his thing. But I'm not going to talk because we don't know how much Shanks lost. But I doubt Shanks is undefeated. I doubt Kaido is the only Yonko, or the only powerhouse in the whole story that took any L's. I doubt he's the only one that took an L. I doubt that. Stan says he doesn't need to have injuries even if they fought. I see it more like when Shanks met Whitebeard. Shanks clashed with Whitebeard, but he was fine after. So I see him doing the. That's not a clash. Isn't a fight. Whitebeard and Shanks didn't fight. They clashed. When I say fight, I mean an actual fight. There's a victor and there's a loser. A fight, not a we clash and then we talk afterward. I mean a actual fight where it's like, look, Kaido's like, look, I'm going to Marineford, and Shanks is like, no, I'm not letting you go to Marineford. So it's like, look, Shanks either has to win to stop Kaido from going, or Kaido has to win to continue. Obviously, there was something in there where they was like, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't a full fight, they had to, you know what I'm saying? But if it was a full fight to where Shanks stopped Kaido from, like, he physically stopped Kaido from going to Marineford, they would have had to fight. Like, they would have had to have a serious fight. And if they had a serious fight, there would have had to be, both of them would have had some type of bruises, some type of injuries. Two Yonko don't have a serious fight and neither of them get injured, or both of them don't get injured. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about a clash. I'm not talking about clashes. Then he said, and so Kaido realized that he isn't going to Marineford unless he has to fight his way through Shanks, and so he backed down. That's how I see it. And I kind of agree with that, but that's not a fight. That's not the type of fight I'm talking about. You're talking about just a clash, and then Kaido's like, oh, well, I might as well not even do this because you're not going to allow me, so it's kind of moot at this point. I'm not going to make it to Marineford anyway, whether I fight you or I don't fight you. I get that, and I agree with that. But, again, that's not a real fight. That's not what I'm talking about. Angel said, I don't think they even clashed. They probably just talked. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I could see them possibly clashing, but, like, you know what I'm saying? I was just telling Stan that, like, they didn't fight. It wasn't like a all-out, dragged-out fight like we see Luffy and Kaido doing, or where we see Luffy and Doflamingo doing, or where we see in most of Luffy's fights. You know what I'm saying? Or, it wasn't like that. It was just, we clash, we might do a few moves, and then we stop. It's not really a fight. It's not really a fight. At least not the type of fight that I'm talking about. Stan says Kaido is not the kind of person to talk. He prefers fighting. That's true, but if Shanks came with alcohol, Shanks probably could have talked him down with some alcohol. You know what I'm saying? And I agree, they probably did clash. I agree. They probably did clash. I feel as though that's like a Yonko handshake is clashing. Like every time they meet, they like, hey, let's clash. Bam, they clash, and then they're like, okay, we did that. That's cool. I just had to make sure you were still official. Before we go talking. Angel said, yeah, but to me, Shanks is a character who can persuade characters, so I could see him persuading Kaido after all. He was persuasive enough to talk to the 5 elders. And I agree with that. I agree with the possibility that maybe, because again, we know that Shanks is a very persuasive character. So I believe that their meeting could have happened without them clashing. But at the same time, I can also agree that they probably did, at the very least, they probably did like some type of a clash. I could agree with that. But all I'm saying is I don't believe it was a full-on fight to where Shanks defeated Kaido in order to stop him from going to Marineford. Because if it was that type of fight and Shanks did stop Kaido by defeating him, I believe that Shanks would have still had some type of injury, because it wouldn't have been an easy fight on either half. They both would have sustained some type of injuries. And from from what we see, because the reason why I'm saying this because there's a narrative that Shanks had to defeat Kaido in order to stop him. Because a lot of people say, well, Shanks stopped Kaido, so that makes him stronger than Kaido. And I'm like, well, they probably didn't fight. You know, that's my point. They probably didn't fight, and if they did, there would have been some type of injury. Is what I'm saying. Stan says, true, but the five elders are far more understanding than Kaido. We even see in chapter 1049 that war and battles are what Kaido values most. But I will argue against that. And I would do like in Angel's defense, I would say that Shanks is probably smart enough to know how to speak to Kaido without fighting. Like I could believe that Shanks is smart enough to, or he's persuasive enough to possibly bring some alcohol. Because again, the best way to Kaido's heart is alcohol. Obviously, that's how it seems, at least. Like, you bring the man some alcohol, I'm pretty sure he would probably listen to what you have to say. If you bring him some good alcohol, he'll probably listen to what you got to say. And Shanks probably knew that, and he probably brought some of the best alcohol. Like, he might even know what kind of alcohol Kaido likes. And so he probably brought, like, some of the finest alcohol. And was like, look, I got this alcohol. Hey, let's talk. Here's some alcohol. Let's talk, Kaido. And then he might have been like, look, Kaido, I can't let you go to Marineford. So, like, don't do this because I can't let you go. And then if you do go, we're going to have to fight. And you know, if we fight, you're not going to make it to Marineford anyway. So how about this? Take this alcohol I brought you. Take it as a peace offering and please accept my deal. Take this as a trade for you not going to Marineford. And Kaido probably weighed his options. Kaido was like, look, I could either take this alcohol and just not go, or I could fight Shanks, which 2 Yonko fighting, that could probably last for hours to possibly days. You know what I'm saying? 2 Yonko fighting. Kaido would have never made it to Marineford anyway. So Shanks, all I'm saying is Shanks was such a roadblock for Kaido is that Kaido wouldn't have made it to Marineford regardless. And knowing that, Kaido probably accepted Shanks' offer, which was probably alcohol, and he probably just conceded. You know, that's how I see it going. That's how I see it going. They probably clashed. They probably didn't. I don't know. Seeing how Yonko do that, I could see them clashing. Angel Room said, I also don't think Kaido is ignorant enough to fight someone when the odds are obviously against him. The only way I see him clashing or fighting Shanks is if he was already fighting Shanks' crew. After all, he sees Shanks as someone who can hurt him, not someone in the worst generation. All right, but yeah, let's continue this video.
Badass character, this menacing guy who can't lose in a fight, 1v1 bet on him, but yet he's getting captured because he's hungry. Like, that's totally like such an Oda thing to do, and I do prefer it. And you know, I'm glad that people are going to start putting respect on Kaido's name. Now, an interesting contrast that we see because of this is that we can say, okay, Kaido and Orochi has been starving the people of Wano for a very long time. Kaido would get captured purposely so he could get food. Like, Kaido's a really self-centered kind of guy. He's really self-centered. And then we see later on in this chapter, Kaido says, hey Luffy, what's your ideal world? Like, what kind of world?
Yeah, I don't know if I attribute that to Kaido being self-centered, even though, yeah, it is kind of him being self-centered. I think that just goes to Kaido's philosophy. Kaido seems like the type of guy where he believes that strength trumps all, right? Like, it's like the strong get what they want. The strong rule, right? The strong dominate. They rule. The strong can do whatever they want. So Kaido is like, look, I'm strong, so I can pretty much do what I want. If I need food, I'm gonna do whatever I want to get it. You know, if I want all the food, I'm gonna keep all the food, and unless somebody stronger come along and take it from me. But the weak perish, the strong survive and prosper. Or I mean, yeah, they survive and prevail and all that. So I could see it being along with Kaido's philosophy that strength gets you what you want. You know what I'm saying? It's like strength being currency. You know what I mean?
World do you want to live in? And Luffy, of course, says something like, I want to live in a world where all my friends can eat as much as they want. And this is a beautiful, like, kind of like a stark contrast where, I mean, it's like laid out for us. You have Kaido, the selfish dude wanting the food for himself, and Luffy, like the kind of freedom guy, the kind of I love all people kind of guy. Like, no, I want food for all my friends.
That's a good point. That is a good point. But you know, it's funny too though. It's kind of poetic because it reminds me of the conversation between Kaido and King, where King asked him, was he Joy Boy? And Kaido pretty much said, I think Joy Boy is the person to defeat me, right? And it's just showing like before, when we first seen that discussion the first time, right? When Kaido first saved King, we assumed that Kaido kind of looked at himself as Joy Boy. And we look at Joy Boy as kind of a heroic figure. So that's what we was kind of looking at Kaido, this guy who wants to be like a hero, this heroic figure in Joy Boy and free the world and all that. But this whole time, come to find out, like this chapter, this flashback, the whole time Kaido is like, hell nah, I ain't Joy Boy. I'm the one Joy Boy has to, I'm the one that whoever Joy Boy is has to defeat me in order to prove they're Joy Boy. So it's kind of like Kaido's like, nah, I ain't the good guy. I'm the bad guy out here. I'm the villain out here, boy.
Yeah, typically that is like what you would expect from a shonen. Like, it's not something like out of the ordinary. Like of Naruto said something like, oh, I want my friend to have freedom. I want my friends to have this. It's a typical Oda thing. It's a typical shonen thing, but I do think that's an interesting thing to point out at the least. Now, the interesting thing during this chapter is we see Higurashi, you know, the old hag from the Kaido or Oden flashback. She appears in Kaido's flashback again, and she says something along the lines of, hey, I have an interesting proposition, you know, when it comes to these weapons and stuff. Now, an interesting thought, you know, you could probably easily shoot this down, but, you know, my initial thought when I saw this panel was maybe she's connected to the underworld. Maybe she's connected to, you know, the celestial dragons of the world government, even to an extent, because as you guys know, throughout this whole CP0 plotline, we've noticed that the kingdom or country of Wano is making these weapons, and then they're using these weapons to fund wars. And, you know, CP0 is trying to get their hands on it. There's a big mess with Doflamingo going down, but regardless, we know that either way, the smiles, the chemicals, the weapons are highly connected to the underworld. So with her approaching Kaido and saying, hey, weapons, I have a proposition, da 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 da, maybe she has a really important spot in the underworld. And, you know, we might have that kind of fleshed out. Maybe we see, you know, her life at maybe like a half a chapter or something, and kind of get an answer to that, because Oda's like putting us in a path where it's like, okay, they had this chemical that they used to make the smile fruits, then they put the smile fruits into the country of Wano, and then the country of Wano makes weapons to give to the people and the world government. Well, the root seems to be Higurashi. If I'm not mistaken, Higurashi says, hey, when it comes to weapons, you like these weapons, I have a proposition. It's almost like she's the root of it, right? And it all comes down because of that.
That made me think, right? It kind of made me think, like, she kind of is the root that we know of, but she doesn't seem like the type of character that will be the root. She seems like the type of character that's always probably works for like a higher shadowy figure. So like it kind of made me think there could have been somebody manipulating her in order to kind of manipulate Kaido, who, you know, Kaido and Orochi, you know what I'm saying, to get events going in such a way, right? Like I'm really trying to think, could there be somebody who's pulling strings in the background, like pulling strings, at least everything going on in Kaido, right? Could there be somebody who was pulling her strings to pretty much pitch this idea to Kaido? Because she doesn't seem like the type of person who's that much of a big thinker, right? Like, we know she has the devil fruit Bone Clay has, where she could shapeshift and all that. So she's good at trickery, right? She's good at trickery. but she just seemed like she's good at trickery, right? Like she's good at trickery, not really so much coming up with such a grand scheme. Like maybe she was working for somebody else. Maybe Zebek, you know. It's kind of making me think, bro. It's really kind of making me think of something, man. Like some really deep Illuminati type stuff, right? Because I've said before, like Zebek could still be around. Maybe he's living through Blackbeard, right? Maybe she was part of Zebek's crew, and then Blackbeard came along and she talked to Blackbeard, maybe a young Blackbeard, and you know they kind of planned together. Like, look, I need you to you know, like Zebek kind of revealed himself to her. Like, look, I'm living through this kid, right? I'm living through this kid, Blackbeard. So, you know, we're going to work. We're going to still work with each other. What I need you to do is I need you to manipulate my pupil, Kaido, and to help move my plan along, right? So when I finally make my move through Blackbeard's body, everything Kaido has done, I could just pretty much replace him, right? Which kind of even lends to my theory that Blackbeard could show up in Wano. Like, I don't know. I know I'm kind of reaching right now, but I'm just saying, man. Like, he's just giving me an idea. He just kind of gave me an idea that she's the root of everything that's going on in Wano. But I look at her and I don't see like a mastermind. I don't see somebody who has that much forethought to plan all this stuff out, right? Maybe she was working for somebody greater. Because I thought maybe she was working for Kaido, right? Maybe she worked for Kaido. But she came to Kaido with this plan. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like she was working for Kaido and Kaido had this plan and then Kaido sent her to Wano to pretty much talk to Orochi or whatever. It wasn't like that. It was like she came to Wano to pitch this plan. But I don't see her as a mastermind. You know what I'm saying? So I feel as though there's somebody above her. It's just who? Could it be Eam? Maybe it's Eam. Could be Eam. But I don't know. I don't think it would be Eam. You know, unless Eam, because a lot of people believe Eam got like he got like control over certain people. Maybe one of the people he got control over is directing her. Let's continue. And then when and to add this, maybe when Kaido killed her, maybe Kaido kind of stopped that connection of whoever was manipulating her. You know what I'm saying? So maybe whoever was manipulating Kaido indirectly no longer is manipulating him. At least Kaido could still be like acting towards the plan though. You know, like maybe when Kaido decided to kill the old hag, maybe the whoever's pulling these strings didn't need her no more. Maybe he didn't even need to manipulate Kaido no more because Kaido's almost acting on autopilot. I don't know. I'm just throwing these little things out there. I'm just throwing these little thoughts out there.
Or it's the other way around. I don't know. But I feel like it's worth exploring some kind of Higurashi plotline, some kind of answer as to why she wanted to come do that, why she thought of that. I hope it's fleshed out to some extent. Another thing we see in this chapter is CP0 dips the hell out of Wano or out of Onigashima. Now, a lot of people, including myself, was hoping that we would see the undercover low-key boss man Sanji take on the agent CP0. And unfortunately, like with him running away and, you know, trying to get the fuck out of there, it feels like that's becoming a little bit less likely, or anyone for that matter, maybe even Law finding a CP0 member, somebody. I felt like somebody would run into them, but preferably Sanji. But with him running away, I'm led to believe, okay, he's getting away. He's probably next chapter in the upcoming chapters. He's gonna see Kaido falling down, boom, Kaido hits the ground or something, and maybe he relays that information. He's like, yo, Kaido is just defeated. Go to say, what do I do? And then that really like turns things up a little bit more. Who knows? Maybe
Goro say, what do I do?
They send an admiral, maybe not. SSG, I don't know. Maybe they just say, fuck it, just let him have Wano. I don't know. It could go a few different directions. But, you know, seeing him run away is a little heartbreaking. I really wanted to see him have a face-off against Sanji. So you know, to wrap up that plot point, I think he's gonna see the defeat of Kaido at some point, maybe not now, maybe in the future, and relay this information. Now, a very interesting thing I keep seeing on Twitter, Discord, or wherever is people are taking the pages where Kaido says, hey Luffy, what's the dream, or what's the world you want to live in? And Luffy says, I want to live in a world where all my friends can eat as much as they want. I feel like we're jumping the gun if we say that's Luffy's true dream. Just as a quick reminder, we know that Luffy and Roger have a big dream, they have a big goal that was purposely off-screened. We see this when Luffy was talking to Ace and Sabo. He says, I'm gonna, and then they off-screen it. Same thing with Roger. Roger says, I'm gonna, and they off-screen it. I strongly disagree that this big dream is that his friends can eat all they want. Yes, that is silly and that kind of fits the mold, but I think we really need to look at the context here. One, I don't think it's a time to get what that big dream is, and two, a lot of Wano's culture in this arc is about them starving people, and with, again, like we said earlier in this review, with Kaido, you know, wanting to, you know, get captured and have food for himself and stuff like that, we needed that contrast between Kaido and Luffy, the big bad and the hero. I mean, just looking back in early.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that that's Luffy's biggest, you know, dream that they always, like, his biggest dream that they always block out, because they block every time, you know, he says that they always block it out, right, when we see that. So I don't think that's it. I think ultimately though, the world that Luffy does, like whatever Luffy's dream is, I do believe that it will pretty much, like, whatever his dream is will directly solve the problem of world hunger. You know, like, it will make it to where people have access to food, you know, where the world government is no longer oppressing people, and there's no longer oppressive governments around, and people can eat, you know, there's, you know, people could eat without some type of government holding them back from eating as much as they want. So, but I don't think just people eating is Luffy's ultimate dream. Like, his friends living in a world where they can eat. You know what I mean?
Early in the Wano,
I do believe in order for Luffy's dream to have been achieved, though, to have been noticed, world hunger has to kind of be extinguished as well.
Arc itself. Remember when Luffy gave all the people food? Kaido and all those Kaido and Co didn't appreciate it. Like, Luffy was already feeding people earlier in the arc. I think that happened in Curry, right? But regardless, I don't see that. I want a world where everyone of my.
It happened in Ibisu Town. Curry is where Otama and Hitetsu was living. You know, where it was like destroyed because it looked like some dinosaur marks destroyed. Like, either maybe Drake or Page One possibly was, you know, trampling things, or even Jack could have been there as well. I don't know, but, you know, Curry's just kind of like, you know, destroyed. But yeah, they brought food to Ibisu Town, or one of the leftover towns.
Friends can eat. I don't think that's the dream. If you guys want a video on what I think it is, I think Luffy's bigger dream and Roger's bigger dream is being something like King of the World. I probably will make a video on that soon, but yeah, just wanted to talk about that. I do not believe this chapter told us what Luffy's real dream is. Now, another thing that I'm not really a fan of.
I disagree with it being King of the World, because King of the World is not really a childish dream. You know what I'm saying? I think whatever the dream is, it was stated to be childish. And I don't think King of the World. I think King of the World is it. I mean, unless you say it's childish in the way, like, man, you'll never be that. Stop being childish. Like, that type, like, you just think it's a unreachable dream for somebody. But I don't think that's Luffy and Kaido's dream. Plus, how I look at it, King of the World is different from Pirate King, because King of the World is more of a responsibility heavy dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're king of the world, that means you have to be king of the world. You have to ensure people are okay. You have to you have to be responsible. You can't be free. It's not like a freedom type title. Pirate King, you could be free because pirates are known to be like free, right? They're known to be free and just being the king of free, being the king of the freest people is that's one thing. But being king of the world, you got some responsibilities, bro. So I don't think it's king of the world. I think I don't know for sure. You know what I'm saying? I think it could be the party thing because that, to me, that is actual childish. And we know that Luffy enjoys parties. You know what I'm saying? Because they bring people together. You know what I'm saying? Parties bring people together. Or it's something along the line with Luffy bringing people together. Like maybe that's his dream. Bring everybody in the world together to have the world's biggest party. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of childish. Connecting people, a little childish. Let's continue.
I'm not really impressed by is this chapter did give us a little bit of answers here and there, but there's a lot of things that's still being implied, a lot of things that Oda and Kaido and Luffy and Ko and whoever is like alluding to. So one thing we need to address is when Kaido at the end of the chapter says, you know what, Joy Boy's the man who's gonna defeat me. Like if me and you are reading the same manga, this doesn't confirm anything. Everyone and their mom, every YouTuber, these guys are watching these channels, everyone knew that Kaido is built up to lose against Joy Boy. I've said this in many videos. It's not a new thought. I'm not a brainiac. So with that being said, I feel like him saying that didn't confirm that Luffy's Joy Boy. If anything, chapters ago when Zunisha, or even maybe this chapter or previous chapters, like when Zunisha sees Joy Boy, or Zunisha sees Luffy and he's like, yo, Joy Boy's finally here, that's a much better evidence. But when Kaido says like, yo, I'm going to lose to Joy Boy, yeah, I guess from a perspective you might think, oh well, Luffy's Joy Boy, but again, like we've already been under this heavy assumption. Now another thing you might come to a conclusion when it comes to that statement or that sentence or dialogue is that, okay, maybe Kaido was waiting in Onigashima, Kaido was waiting in Wano for Joy Boy. And again, it doesn't explicitly say that. It only alludes to it. And even if you do, now let's go and assume that this chapter is pretty much implying, it pretty much is saying that Kaido is waiting for Joy Boy. Everyone's been thinking that. All the readers have been thinking that. And if you haven't, I'm not sure what you're reading. A lot of people, and it could be wrong, but me and many other people have been under the assumption that Kaido is in Wano waiting for Joy Boy. It's not rocket science. And like this chapter, again, it doesn't explicitly say that. And even if you assumed it did, it's not.
I didn't, like, me personally, I didn't really like that quote didn't really make me just focus on, oh yeah, this is another Luffy and Joy Boy comparison. I mean, like that, I never really got that, or that's not what like stuck out to me. To me, what stuck out about that quote was kind of like, it was the fact that Kaido, like, we believed that Kaido wanted to be Joy Boy, right? Like that was kind of like Kaido looked at himself as Joy Boy. That's what a lot of people believe. That's what we kind of took from that one chapter where he freed King and King was like, oh, are you Joy Boy? He was like, yeah, I'm the only one capable of being there, or something along that line, right? And so we kind of looked like, okay, Kaido wants to be Joy Boy. But this chapter, Kaido was pretty much like, nah, Joy Boy is the person who defeats me, right? Like, to me, the thing that stuck out the most to me is it was about that statement was just him almost confirming that his goal isn't to be Joy Boy, it's to be the gatekeeper of Joy Boy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what spoke to me about that quote in the chapter. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this is another Luffy is Joy Boy confirmation. I already kind of just believe that the implications of Luffy being Joy Boy is too high to, like, it's not that much different from, when some other person kind of mentions, oh, that kid, he could be the Pirate King. We already know that. We already know that.
what is it confirming? Like we've all known this. It's been a fair assumption. So let's talk about 1048 real quick. We see that Orochi was slain by Tenjiro, and following that, we see lanterns going up saying like, yo, I want Orochi to disappear. I want him gone. Now at the end of 1049, we see Luffy presumably defeat Kaido or punch Kaido really hard, and then lanterns about a dragon or Kaido go up. I think this is a really clever misdirection by Oda. I do not believe 1049 is the end of Kaido. I believe Oda's like, okay, if I have Orochi killed or defeated and then I send lanterns up, people are gonna be like, okay, maybe the lanterns are tied in because they are dreams, they are people's goals or whatever, they're their wishes. And if I have Kaido presumably defeated with lanterns, people are gonna assume, okay, well, if Orochi was slain, we get lanterns, and then Kaido is slain or defeated and there's lanterns, people are gonna think Kaido's gone. They're gonna think Kaido's defeated. I think it's a complete curveball. I think he purposely did that so Kaido can come up next chapter. And even like on like a finale, if you even ignore that, on like a finale, I don't really appreciate how Oda said, you know, years ago, like, you know, I don't know how Luffy could defeat Kaido. It has to be something creative. My audience wouldn't be impressed if it was just a strong punch, if it was a big punch. And like this chapter was literally just that. It's been multiple chapters of like this huge big punch coming to Kaido and hitting him. I do not see this being the defeat of Kaido, and the lanterns are
let's talk about that. Let me talk about that for a little bit. This I guess people being upset with the idea of Luffy being defeated by a big punch. Now, I could see why someone would be upset if Oda said Kaido's not going to be defeated by a big punch, and then that's exactly like that aspect. I get it. I kind of get it, because then it's kind of like Oda just lied to us. I get that. I get the maybe being upset because it was kind of a lie aspect of it. But just this idea of Luffy defeating Kaido with a punch, I kind of see, I don't see it as big of a deal as a lot of you guys, only because I feel as though that's how Luffy wins like most his fights, because he's a brawler, right? He's a brawler. I can't expect. Do we expect Luffy to beat Kaido with a sword? Is that what people are expecting? Maybe he pulls out that Nita Kotetsu or whatever, or what was it, the Nita Kotetsu or the Shan, the Kotetsu blade that he got. Is that how Luffy's supposed to defeat Kaido? Is he supposed to defeat Kaido with a Kamehameha wave, or is he supposed to pull up some like random devil fruit ability, like do a room and decapitate Kaido? Like how is Luffy a hand-to-hand fighter, a hand-to-hand fighting character? What are we supposed to expect from him winning? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we supposed to expect? Is Luffy supposed to do something that's unlike him? I mean, because normally he wins all his fights with punches and kicks. So him beating Kaido with a punch or a kick, to me, it kind of makes sense with how Luffy wins fights. I guess that's why I don't see it as a big deal. Like Luffy beating Kaido with a big punch. I could understand people being upset with Oda. If let's say this is indeed Kaido's defeat, with it being a lie, I could get that part. But if you're really upset that Luffy beats Kaido with a punch, to me it just doesn't make sense, because I'm like, how is Luffy supposed to win? How is he supposed to defeat Kaido? You know, is he supposed to become a swordsman mid-fight? Like mid-fight, is he supposed to, or I don't know. Maybe y'all think Luffy's supposed to turn Kaido into rubber and stretch him until he breaks, like pull his head off or something. I don't know. I don't know. But let's continue.
Adding a misdirection, it's another piece of evidence as to why Kaido cannot be defeated as a 1049. Another reason I highly doubt Kaido is defeated as of this chapter is because, like I said previous chapters ago, Kaido has had 4 different moves that are directly named off of Wisdom Kings. Now in Buddhism, there's 5 Wisdom Kings. Like I said, Kaido's done 4 of them, okay? There's only 1 Wisdom King that he hasn't done yet. And this Wisdom King is named Akala. or Akala. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, but they're known as the Immovable Wisdom King. In previous chapter reviews, I was saying that, you know, maybe Kaido is going to use Akala, you know, the immovable Wisdom King, to tank the Luffy punch. I don't know why Oda didn't do that, but I guess Kaido is once again saying, hey, no, I don't need to do anything. Let me just tank this. I guess, yeah, you could say he had the molten lava or whatever, but I'm more under like the energy, the more under the vibe. He's like, nah, I'm gonna just tank it. I don't need to do something special. I was expecting him to do this Immovable Wisdom King, but it didn't happen. But sorry, I got a little off track. I think this Akala Wisdom King is gonna have to be used by the end of the defeat of Kaido. I think this is like another dropped ball, another missed shot by Oda. If he doesn't, like, why would you have 4 moves out of the five Wisdom Kings and not do the 5th one at some point? Why not use all 5? He didn't use 1, he used 4. So again, I'm assuming that 1049 is not the end of Kaido for several reasons, including this Wisdom King's kind of plotting, this Wisdom King's reference. Now at the end of 1049, we see Luffy falling down. A lot of people are under the impression that Luffy is now kind of winded. He's going to be out of commission. He's exhausted. Now I am not upset with this this idea, and I do think it does have a bit of merit to it. It's a bit likely, and we might be.
Look, I want to say this to the part where Luffy's falling down like he's winded. This might actually be the best time to set up for, like, if now look, I'm personally not a fan of this theory. Y'all know me, I've said it before, I'm not a fan of it at all. I kind of hate the theory. I kind of hate it. But if Oda is going to pull the trigger on this theory, I think we're approaching the best time now. And that is for Law to do the immortality surgery. I'm not a fan of that. There's a couple reasons why I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the idea of Law giving his life. Like, it's like, bro, Law has dreams and aspirations and he has responsibilities. Why would he give his life to save some other character who's not part of his crew? Law is responsible to ensure that his crew, you know, remains alive. As their captain, he's responsible for them. You know, it's like his family. So to me, it wouldn't make sense for him to sacrifice himself and his responsibility to his family in order to save somebody outside of his family. You know what I mean? Like, we see Zoro. Zoro is the type of character who's always willing to sacrifice himself for his crew. But he's willing to sacrifice himself for his crew, not people outside of his crew. And I would think Law would be like any reasonable person I would see being like that. Another thing is, I don't want Luffy to get no immortality. That would just kind of, he already got this Nika upgrade. So it's like, now you're going to make Luffy immortal for the rest of the series. It would just kind of defeat the purpose, because then who beats him if he can't die? If he's just going to get up every time? Where's the tension? Where's the tension in each fight if Luffy doesn't have to worry about immortality or dying? I mean, he doesn't have to worry about dying because he's immortal. To me, it just wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. But if Oda does have that plan, because I do get this idea that people have that Oda introduced the immortality surgery for a reason. I get that. It still seems dumb for him to do it for Luffy, but I get it. So if Oda does really have a plan for it, especially for Law to use it on Luffy, I think this is going to be the best time. I don't think there's any other better time than now. Cause right now Luffy look like he's winded. We don't know how much how much damage, like long-term damage this form has done to Luffy. Like it could actually have impacted his life force, is what I'm saying. Like Gear 5 could impact Luffy's life force. So if, you know, Oda want to get him like on the brink of death, I think right now would be the best time. And then you can have Law do his surgery. If that's the route we want to go, I hope we don't go that route. But just putting that out there. And And the angel said immortality. I don't know, man. You don't know what? You don't know if that's a good idea. Cause I don't think it's a good idea either. If that's what you're saying, I don't like that idea. But let's continue.
Seeing something kind of similar to the Dressrosa. So, you know, Luffy was going all out against Doflamingo, and at some point, Luffy ran out of energy, and it was up to the citizens of Dressrosa to carry Luffy and have him, you know, hang in there until he rejuvenates. Now, again, this could be very likely where Luffy does this huge massive punch, he's winded, and now Kaido's up. He's like, oh, you thought that punch was gonna take me out? Nah, you just sent me spiraling down, but I'm not done. And, you know, maybe Kaido awakens. He's like, all right, it's time to go. I'm going to kill everybody here. I'm going to kill you, Luffy. And it's up to the citizens of Wano to carry around Luffy. I think that's a very likely thing when you want to consider that. The people of Wano, I feel like they need to see this battle. Right? I feel like they've been terrorized and they've been living a miserable life for decades because of Orochi and Kaido. I feel like Luffy needs to shine. They need to see our hero Luffy actually save them. When you consider that Luffy and Kaido were fighting on Onigashima and then eventually above Onigashima, these guys in the Flower Capital, they're not even aware a huge fight with their tyrannical leaders going on. They're completely out the blue. And to me, yeah, you could say it's a juxtaposition that Kaido, I'm sorry.
I mean, but you could say like the samurai who's on Onigashima, they're aware of it. They witnessed it. Because the thing about it is everybody in Wano isn't going to witness it. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's going to witness it. People in the Flower Capital, like if they do fight on the ground, the people in the Flower Capital might witness it. But that's still not all of Wano. But even then, the samurai, they witnessed it. The samurai who went to Onigashima. Like, I don't think they witnessed all of it because they was kind of busy fighting as well, and plus they was on the lower floors when they were fighting on top. Angel said, "I don't like the immortality, but it is what it is." Yeah, I don't like it either. It's not that I don't like it. I think there's even better ways you could use it. There's better ways you could use it have it to where they almost force Law to do it on like Eam or something. Like maybe Eam's immortality, like maybe Eam has, like maybe it's not real immortality. Like let's say that, like I could see it like this. Like let's use this. Let's say this, right? Because I believe that the immortality isn't like true immortality. It might be more of a life extension thing. Like I could see it being something along the line where whoever takes on the immortality surgery, it's not really immortality. It's more like you add the years that the person who has the OP no Mi, like let's say if they had like 60, let's say they had 35 years left to live, right? And they do the surgery on you, you add 35 years to your life, right? Like something along that line. I could see it working like that, right? And maybe I feel as though here's how, if Oda really wants to use the immortality surgery into the story, this would be a better way of using it. Law doesn't use it on Luffy, but let's say Eam kidnaps Law in order to use it on himself. Like they're going to force Law to use it. Like maybe they have a way to force Law to use it against his own will. Like he can't decide at all. Like they force him. So like Eam, let's say Eam has been using this. He been like the world government been kidnapped. They've been finding whoever has the OP. Like let's say this. Eam lived so long because of OP no Mi users, right? Like he's not really immortal. He just has been constantly extending his life to continue to live by finding either the OP no Mi fruit and then giving it to somebody and then having them use it, or maybe if like somebody who's outside of the world government or the Marines or under their exact like supervision, like Law, for example. Law's a pirate. He doesn't have no allegiance to the world government, so they have to take Law and force him to use it, you know. But usually under a lot of circumstances, maybe they find the devil fruit give it to somebody who already understands what their purpose is. They know that they gotta die for Eam. You know, maybe that's how they do it. Like one of those two ways, depending on if they could get the devil fruit or if, let's say, somebody in the world finds the devil fruit. Like, but either way, they're forcing people they're having people do this surgery on Eam in order to extend his life. You know, I think that would be a better use of the OP no Mi immortality surgery than giving it to Luffy. Because if Luffy gets it, it's kind of like it. You know what I mean? Unless Luffy gets it to extend his life. But again, I still don't like the idea of Law dying for Luffy. Like voluntarily dying for Luffy. Let's continue.
That Luffy and the Alliance are taking on this burden. They're the ones fighting. They're the ones suffering, with the people of the Flower Capital being safe and not knowing what's going on. I guess you could use that as a juxtaposition, but that adds less tension to the arc and to reading it to me. I feel like the citizens need to be threatened. They need to see this looming thing in the sky, and apparently they didn't. Like, they never saw Onigashima in the sky. You know, given the end of 1049, Momonosuke brings Onigashima down. It appears to be on the ground. It's just like, I feel like the conclusion was very underwhelming. Like, why? This can't be the conclusion. Like, why are they not knowing this Onigashima's flying in the sky and about to crush them? They don't know that happens. It's on the ground. They don't know Luffy and Kaido are fighting. I just don't understand the direction of that. What I'm hoping is, like, basically what I said, you know, maybe Luffy's winded and Kaido awakens, and I want them to fight in the Flower Capital. I don't want there to be 100 deaths. We don't need all these citizens dying. They could run away, you know, be scared and scream for their life. You know, maybe some buildings are destroyed here and there, but I want to see Luffy and Kaido have a face-off, a whole big fight and a whole big clash in the Flower Capital. I think we need more tension, because the Onigashima plotline was almost pointless. Like, the way it was executed, every single chapter we would get, hey, Momonosuke, carry Onigashima, and Momonosuke would be like, I can't, I'm too weak, and then we would transition to something else in the chapter. We had that for like 50 chapters, and now in 1049 it took 3 panels for Momonosuke to say, all right, flame clouds, shoots the flame clouds, surrounds Onigashima, then Onigashima is on the ground.
I agree. I think it would have been nice for Momonosuke to have like a aha situation where because it just happened so quick, right? It happened so quick. It was like Luffy started to punch, Momonosuke just kind of like shot this big cloud. Like, I don't know, it just happened super quick. So I'm like, I would like to see more of like Momonosuke, like, I don't know, having an aha moment or something. I don't know.
It felt extremely underwhelming, but we need some more real tension. We need to have Luffy and Kaido fight in the Flower Capital, and hopefully upon the defeat of Kaido, seeing that it might go that way, maybe it doesn't, you know, maybe we'll get an info box saying like, Battle of the Flower Capital winner, Joy Boy. I think that'd be awesome. It adds tension with the citizens being involved. Plus, you know, instead of saying winner Luffy, winner Joy Boy, I think that'd be really, really good given the emphasis on Joy Boy this arc. Last thing I want to talk about is actually the lanterns and Onigashima. So, you know, if you think about it, Onigashima is a lantern. It's almost spherical. There's flames surrounding it. I feel like Oda is like being a sly guy, and he's having all these little lanterns by the kids and the adults of their dreams, and they're floating up to the sky, whereas Onigashima was its own floating lantern that came crashing down. So maybe there is some inverse symbolism there. You know, these guys' dreams, they're going up, they're gonna come true with Orochi being slain, Kaido being gone, them having food and clean water. You know, that's their lanterns, they're going up. But the lantern of Onigashima and, you know, the destruction of Wano and Kaido and Orochi is coming crashing down. I think that's beautiful symbolism, but I could be looking a little too deep into this. But thank you so much for watching. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below how you feel about 1049, this finale, and the direction of Wano. Is this what you were hoping from Oda and Kaido and Luffy? And
all right, shout out to Threevil. Let me show the boys some love. Like, hit that like button. Y'all make sure y'all go hit that link in the description box to You know, show him, go support Threevil. You know, especially with everything happening now, it'd be nice to make sure let y'all know y'all support him and everything. But yeah, so yeah, I agree. Like I'm definitely hoping that this isn't the end of this isn't how Kaido goes down. It was a bit anticlimactic. I don't believe that Kaido is down for sure. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping he's not. I'm hoping he's not. I don't know what Oda's thinking. Because maybe Oda's being rushed. Maybe it has something to do with him being rushed. So if that's the case, maybe he had to do it like this. I don't like it. I feel as though Oda got to start trimming some fat of certain arcs and everything. But yeah, I'm hoping that maybe we get some more flashback of Kaido. You know what I mean? I hope this fight had this. I hope we get at least an awakening or some hockey. It doesn't have to be both, but give me at least one. At least give me one. If Kaido or if Oda doesn't have nothing planned for Kaido and on the hockey front, give me some devil fruit awakening. If he don't have nothing planned for awakening, give me some hockey action. Give me some hockey action. And Threevil definitely had made me think. He definitely kind of made me think about the old hag. I forget her name. The one who had the bone clay devil fruit. Like maybe she could be working for a higher. Maybe somebody was pulling her strings. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that she came to Kaido with a proposition. Maybe she worked for somebody. That we don't know of. Maybe Zebek. Maybe she worked for Zebek and, and she was working through Blackbeard or something. I don't know, but that's definitely something I think deserves maybe a discussion. I don't know, but I don't have like enough evidence or anything to try to make any deeper speculation other than what I've already talked about. So yeah, and that's pretty much the stream, you guys. I appreciate you guys for stopping through and supporting Angels Room, Cube, Stan, Adam, yeah, it's everybody. Good stream, good video from Threevil. I will be streaming tomorrow. I don't know. I don't have a video planned just yet. I think there was a video somebody you guys was talking to me about last week. So I don't know. I feel like there's a video that I'm supposed to be doing that I forgot about. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know what we're gonna be doing tomorrow. I might have to reach out to Elid, see if to continue to understanding hockey revisited series. So yeah, maybe we might end up doing that. That might be the plan for tomorrow. I don't know just yet. But anyway, y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that like button on your way out. Also subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and follow me on Facebook. Also, if you're looking for a One Piece community, we have the Discord and we have the Facebook group. So, bunch of options for you guys to get in contact with me. The Discord is going to be the best place to submit videos you want me to react to. So, y'all make sure y'all submit me videos. I got a submission channel there designated for you guys to do such a thing. Anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P. the Bluff God. And I am out of here. Y'all have a good evening. Angel's Room said great stream. Appreciate it. Anyway, I'm out of here. Peace.